And we are live. If you're watching this in replay, just feel free. You can watch this in times 2 speed, for example. You don't need to watch this regular speed. So while people are coming in, I just want to talk to you about what this is about, how to tame your inner critic. This is really important in life. This is important for anything, really. Whether it be success related or just personal development in general. You have to know how to deal with your inner thoughts. You need to know how to deal with what's going on in your mind, because everything starts from the mind. If you think about it, you have an idea to start a business, it starts in the mind. You want to approach a beautiful woman, it starts in the mind, and you're scared of it. It's all in the mind. Whatever you want to do. And there's always this, really the number one thing that all of my clients struggle with the most is really that inner critic. And pretty much that's what we're going to talk about today. But right now, just waiting for people to come in. We just began the live stream. Some people are starting to come in. Don't be shy. You can say hello. I'm just going to see here if I can just trying to access the chat for my computer here. No, I can't see it anyways. But what the heck is happening? Oh, if you got any questions, don't hesitate. Anyone who's joining the live stream right now, just leave any questions down below. But anyway, so let's get started right now, actually, while people are coming in to the live stream. So what is inner self-talk? What is that? That's pretty much the voice in your head, right? Usually it's the thing that's limiting you, the voice in your head that's telling you yes, that's telling you no, I can't do that, I won't be successful at that. Just that voice in your head that's really like, telling you all the wrong things, making assumptions about what's going to happen, even though this is not going to happen, right? Or making, self-limiting things or beliefs that are coming up, making artificial boundaries and not even there. That's what your inner critic can say. And also doing like reruns of the past, for example. So for example, let's say you failed at something in the past or you never actually really succeeded. What will happen is that maybe you have thoughts of that again that will just creep back in, right? That can happen. Things like that. So there's something to be careful with. And on top of that, it could just be other people's thoughts that just creeped into your head. So that can happen, for example, for some reason, you want to start exercising more. And then you got this thought in your head of like, well, you're never good at, you're never disciplined. You always like, procrastinate, whatever. And you realize that was what your dad used to tell you when you were younger. And just like that weird creeping voice in your head. And sometimes your inner critic is not even your own voice. It's like someone else's voice, someone else's, idea of like, how you should live your life or whatever, shit happening, stuff like that. So how does that manifest, the inner critic? It can manifest in many ways. So it could be like manifest as like the worrier, you could call it, right? Basically, always looking for the wrong thing, always looking for what could go wrong. That's what worrying is, always looking for what could go wrong, not looking for what could go right, right? It also manifest as the critic, the inner critic, just like always judging you, always labeling things like, oh, this is bad. You could be doing this way better. Like, this is shit. That's one thing you can be telling yourself. It could manifest as the victim. Like, you know what? I don't deserve good things in life. See, people should help me out. I have depression. I have anxiety problems. Like, that's the victim. This sort of like learned helplessness, hopelessness. That could be how it manifests. Also, the perfectionist. So for example, the thing that that I told you about, like that things not being good enough, and a lot of time, like the perfectionist is like, it's that line of like, I'm not good enough unless I do this. I'm not good enough unless I have all my habits, checked, whatever. I'm not good enough unless X, Y, Z. So this is how the inner critic can manifest. Yes, sometimes it can be helpful, but 99.9% of the time, it's just like reruns and like repeated patterns, repeated thoughts. Like, and my clients that struggle with that every single day. That's why they come up to me. They're like, so how do I let go of negative thoughts and all that, And I'm going to tell you in a second. And really, so for those of you who just joined in, guys, don't forget, don't hesitate to say hello. Don't be shy. Ask me questions. Just trying to access it from my computer here, the stream, because I'm actually right. I'm filming through my phone, but I'm also also replying through. I'm also replying. Trying to reply from my computer. Anyway, it's not working, but who cares? Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Look at really the first step from taming the inner critic is like, look at like how your inner voice manifests, right? Just be aware, how is it, arriving? And here's what to do to tame it, okay? So first thing you do is, whenever the negative thoughts come up, okay? Let's say, just pick a negative thought right now, okay? You guys are watching right now. Okay, so what's one of the most prevalent negative thoughts that you have? I don't know. Maybe it could be like, I'm lazy, you're such a lazy piece of shit, whatever. But let's say that's the thought, okay? So, few things you can do. One thing you can do is you just observe it mindfully, like, oh, okay, well, I'm having a thought that I'm being lazy. Okay, well, thank you, inner critic, but I'm just gonna continue with my day, right? Something like that. So you just kind of observe the thought. It's called mindfulness. Mindfulness is a practice. How do you practice mindfulness? Well, you practice by just being mindful, pretty self-explanatory. But a way to actively practice it is meditation every day, right? So mindfulness, that's how you would, handle the inner critic. Second thing you can do is you just ignore it. Ignore the fuck out of it. So it's like, it tells you like stupid shit, and then you're like, oh, well, you inner critic, you tell me I'm lazy? Okay, well, fuck you. I don't know. So it's like, it's funny because like your inner critic is gonna sound like a funny analogy, but it's like a toxic relationship, romantic relationship, or toxic friendship, or toxic relationship with one of your coworkers, right? Or it's just like a toxic person. It's like dealing with a toxic person, and they're with you all the time, and it's really hard to get rid of. Like, you have to like always be with that inner critic no matter what you do. So it's like so like that inner voice in your head, pretty much. For you guys who just came in, don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Leave me any comments, any questions you have about the topics of the video, or anything personal development related. I'll answer to them. Inner critic. It's that voice that it's like that. It's like that. How do you call it? Yeah, as I was saying, it's like this toxic relationship, this like toxic friend or toxic person in your life, and to deal with a person like that is not to engage with them. To deal with a hater, with a troll, let's say you're a YouTuber, a creator, you need to deal with trolls, okay? And what you do is that you don't try to, reason with the hater or reason with a toxic person. What you do is you fucking ignore them. Yeah, so same with your inner critic. It's another thing you can do, right? If you can, just try to ignore it. Continue with your day. Keep taking action, like prove to yourself that doesn't matter what your inner critic says, quote unquote, like still do it. So for example, I started that live stream. At the beginning of this live stream, for the first 5 minutes, there were like 0 people. And like my inner critic was telling me like, holy shit, there's no one watching my channel. I have 15,000 subs. Nobody likes me. Like just like a flash of a second, I'm just like, okay, well, thank you, inner critic, for telling me like those negative things. I'm just gonna continue on with that video as if nothing, the difference really between me and you, or between me and like someone who's just starting off in personal development, or hasn't done whatever, it's just beginning with that type of self-help stuff. It's just like I have probably the same amount of negative thoughts that you do, okay? Probably like similar amount. I just plow through them. I just ignore them. That's like super simple. But so many people are not gonna do that. They're not gonna, they don't practice it. They let the inner critic take the best of you. They cannot take a distance from it. And yeah, that's what brings me to the third point of when your inner critic arises, what you can do is you reframe it. You reframe your inner critic, you reframe the thoughts, you reframe all like the things that your inner critic is saying. Okay, so let's say I see someone just commenting here, some dude on Earth, what's up? I found that it takes a lot of concentration to ignore my inner thoughts, fantasies, and focus on the here and now, on reality. Yeah, it can be hard. Can be hard. It's like a constant practice, really. If you can't ignore it, then try just observing it instead. I would say if they're really so some people have like a really high amount of like negative thoughts. If that's the sense, that's if that's the case, I'd say start with observing, and it's really like a ongoing practice until you die. It's like the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And you want to observe it, number one, and it's like those steps that I outlined. And number two is like, okay, move on from it. Okay, what can I do? What can I? Because you can't really stay with the emotion unless, I don't know, unless you're like in a therapy setting or whatever, talking to psychologists, they're helping you dive into your subconscious, whatever. But we're not doing that here. We're trying to like tame that beast, so then we can, keep moving on. So just keep trying. What else do you want me to tell you? I know it's not easy, but it is. And number three, as I was saying, is like reframing. So look at the thought. So you're having a thought. Okay, well, I'm being lazy right now. I'm fucking lazy. I'm always lazy. Well, ask yourself this. Well, who told me that? Myself. Well, how do I know it's true? Well, I don't know. It's just right now I'm true, but like, am I always lazy all the time? So you start questioning the thought. And this is something to be careful with, because you don't want to get in a vicious cycle of just like just trying to debate with the thought. But just break it down with like there are different ways you can look at your thoughts, negative thoughts. So there's like so many types of cognitive distortions, but like when you have a thought, okay, negative thought, be like, okay, am I overgeneralizing? Ask that. Am I trying to predict something in the future based on like one instance in the past? Or like, is that thought even mine? Am I over exaggerating, or am I like minimizing? Like sometimes it could be minimizing too. So for example, you have a good thought of like, yeah, awesome. I made $2,000 doing, getting my first coaching client, whatever. And then you're like, but I mean, I had to do like 1 million calls to get that client. That's what I thought with my first client, by the way. Anyways, but so like it's like those like sort of like you minimize your success as well. So it can go both ways. You minimize the good, or you look positively to you look negatively to things. Also, am I just blowing out an emotion out of proportion? Like, okay, well, I'm feeling sad. Does that mean that I'm a piece of shit? Right? That's like emotional reasoning. When you take an emotion and you just take it as fact. It's like, okay, I feel this way, therefore I am this way. It's like, oh, I feel afraid, therefore I'm a coward. Or, oh, I feel lazy, therefore I am lazy. That's not true. Like, an emotion is not who you are. And often, especially people I think that listen to my channel, you're really like feeling types, right? You're like, you're in touch with your emotions, and then you're like so in touch that actually it can go against you in a sense, because you take your emotions as true. They're not necessarily true. They're just emotions. Emotions are emotions. They're there to be there, and that's something to take some detachment on, right? Also, just labeling in general, right? So you might have you might have like a thought, okay, and because you're having this thought, then you label yourself as a this or as a that, So for example, or just an event, okay. Let's say someone walks, like you're at your workplace, and people walk by, and you just like you're too shy to say hello to whatever those people, and you're like, oh, I'm such a loser, right? It's like, loser, that's a label. Well, are you sure you're a loser? Like, or is that just like that one instance you were not feeling to be social that time? Like those labels, like I'm a loser, I'm fat, I'm stupid. Like those are labels. Like, but what I like to say on Nameless is that there's no such thing as a label to describe you. You can be anything really. There's no labels that you are. You're not John, you're not this person, you're not the resume that you have, you're not your fucking khakis. Is not what Tyler Durden said in Fight Club, I think. That's pretty much nameless. Like you're not your fucking khakis. You're not the uniform you wear. You're not the degrees that you have. You're not the fucking labels that people put on you, right? People like to put the label on me like, oh, you're I don't know, like V for Vendetta, or you're I don't know, life coach. You're a PUA. I'm like, I'm just a guy. I don't know, man. I'm just a guy. I've learned a few things, and I decided to share it. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'm getting at with this, but anyways, just looking at all the cognitive distortions. What else is there? Personalization. When you take things personal, right? Have you ever like something happen? I used to do that a lot actually when growing up. It's like some negative shit happens. You know, I don't know. It could be like what could it be? I don't know. So let's say you arrive to like I don't know, like you need a meeting with I don't know, your client, boss, whatever. Go on a meeting, and like it doesn't turn out well. I don't know, for some reason people are like mad, or I don't know, whatever it is, and you just assume, oh, it's because they don't like me. It's because like I'm a shitty employee. Oh, it's because like fuck, I came in 2 minutes late and it ruined the whole thing. So you take things personally. It's like when there are other factors in play that really have nothing to do with you. So for example, when someone leaves a hate comment on on my videos, you always get someone of these. It's like me, if I were to take it personally, it would be like, oh my god, it's because like I'm a horrible person. That's personalization. Well, really, when someone says something hateful towards you, it's really more a reflection of that person than it is a reflection of you. You know, there's so many other factors. Did that person have a good day, a bad day, you know, negative, whatever negative shit happened to them? You never fucking know. So that could be another thing. And that's pretty much what the fuck is happening. Also, do you disqualify the positive and you just look at things from a negative light? You know, do you have this mental filter of negativity? There are some people, like, you can tell them, no matter how much you tell them that they're doing well, they just cannot fucking see it. They just cannot see it. And because they have this mental filter of just looking at the negatives. And it's something you got to train yourself to do. Again, something to help you if you have this really negative filter in your life is keep a gratitude journal. I used to do that a lot. I don't do it as much because I don't struggle with that negative filter as much as before, but it's definitely something you can try out. So that's pretty much it. And so why do I think it's important that you learn to master your inner critic? Because I mean, look at yourself, look at your life right now. Like all of you guys watching this video right now, if you're struggling with your inner critic, you know, just let me know, like, what's the one thing that it's telling you? What's your inner critic telling you? Does it tell you like, fuck, I want to start this YouTube channel, but fuck, I don't know how to talk on camera. I don't know, you know, like all like those limitations, those limiting beliefs, for example. What is it telling you? And wouldn't you think that getting rid of these things or learning how to master your inner critic, would you think that would help you, right? Like, look at your life and look at like, what are the implications of that? If you were to continue struggling with your inner critic, continue listening to that negative voice in your head, right? You guys watching this video right now, what will happen? Like, look at what would happen, you know, 6 months from now. Would you be in a better place? Would you be in a worse place from now? Okay, really picture it. Okay, like, how would you feel if you were to still struggle with that inner critic? Okay, now look for like 1 year later, 10 years later. How would your life be 10 years later if you still struggle with your inner critic, right? That would really fucking suck, I think. And if, you know, from what I imagine is that from struggling with your inner critic, you'd probably be lacking clarity. You'd be lacking that focus. You'd be lacking that clarity of mind. Sorry guys, I think someone left a comment. I forgot to read it. What's up, Shio? Shisu, hi, sometimes I feel like I don't deserve to be great. That's what my inner voice tells me. I compare to other people, even if I shouldn't. I just don't know how I can be great for myself. I don't know. It's great for yourself. It's a very individual thing. What is greatness to you? Maybe something to ask is like, me personally, when I do things, I don't even look at what my competition is doing on YouTube. I don't even look at like what others are doing. So maybe just train yourself to like, instead of looking at everybody else, fucking get rid of social media, like remove the app from your phone, everything. Like, 'cause that's why we compare ourselves. Like 99% of us millennials, just get rid of that shit and like ask yourself, okay, well, what is greatness to me? What is greatness to me? Ask yourself, okay, well, greatness to me is when I am helping others achieving their, I don't know, losing weight at the gym. I don't know what the hell your greatness is. So just do that. And it's funny you mentioned that because I had a conversation with my brother. It was like a month ago or so, and he was talking about like how the marketplace for starting a business was so fucking horrible, blah, 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 like saying all those shit about how Montreal, the city that I live in, why it's such a horrible place for business and all that. And you know what I replied to him? Like, it's interesting you mentioned all that. I've never even like looked at what other people are doing. I've never even considered whether my city was good or not. I never even considered like the fact that other people even exist and are doing things. It's like doesn't even cross my mind. It's like, what do I want? What's my vision? And yes, this always came naturally to me in a sense that I always like looked into the future, looked at like what is best for me. And I mean, it might not come naturally to you. And for that reason, that's why I recommend if any of you like struggle with like defining who you are, what your clarity is, and you need that, then definitely you can book a free consultation with me. I'll leave a link at the end of the video and in the description where you can pretty much do that. So yeah. So as I was saying, the implications of, if you don't tame your inner critic, what would happen in like 5 years, 10 years, if you don't tame that inner voice, right? Like me, I picture myself, if I didn't tame that inner critic, I'd be like lazy. I wouldn't be making any videos. I'd be like sitting by myself and like lonely crying in my bed. That's how it would look like if I didn't tame my inner critic. But now, let's say you did master your inner critic. Now, yes, your inner critic would still come and go. Like, we all have those negative thoughts. I think it's almost impossible to get rid of them. I think it's pretty much impossible unless you're like a Zen master, like whatever. Anyways, so let's say you did master that inner critic and that you were able to take action despite negative beliefs or despite negative feelings, despite negative thoughts, that you're still able to take action. And you did that every single day, despite that inner critic. How would your life look like? Picture it 6 months ahead, 1 year ahead, 2 months ahead, 2 years ahead, 10 years ahead, right? And that you can consistently take action. You have that clarity of mind because that inner critic's no longer clouding you, right? You'd be doing amazing things, amazing fucking things. So, how do I stop getting red in a stupid situation? I mean, that's a really oh, sorry, I think something happened here. I'm trying to leave a comment. I just cannot, and it's driving me crazy. How do you stop? Well, I mean, that's like a natural reaction. It's a natural, really, doctor, I don't know. But to be serious here, like physiological symptoms, they come from your thoughts. A lot of physiological symptoms. So people like complain about upset stomach, gastrointestinal problems, and they take all those supplements and they go to the doctor. They're given pills. For example, me, for example, when I was younger, I struggled with like heartburn. I was like 12 years old, 13. I was like, why do I get heartburn? Like none of my people in my family get heartburn. Like I get heartburn consistently every day. And I was wondering why. So the doctor gave me that pill, whatever, that I would take every day, and it went away. And then I started getting an ulcer because of that. And I remember this so clearly. I went to the doctor. I got like a camera in my stomach, like to ask to see like how the ulcer was, whether there was an ulcer or not. And it was there, but it was healed for some reason. And then I asked the doctor. I was like 14, 15, and I was like, hey, so what's the cause of ulcers? Why did I get one? He just started laughing. He's like, haha. I mean, there's no clear reason why people get ulcers, but usually it happens with people who are really high performers, perfectionists. They always want to achieve. and they get it because they're fucking stressed. I was like, oh, that's why I got that thing, because I was so stressed. And it's like, maybe you get red in public because you're stressed about something, or you're like overthinking certain things. And really, if you learn with that, something you can do is like, once you start your face getting red, maybe like practice awareness of it. Be like, okay, I'm getting a bit red. Doesn't matter. I mean, if you beat yourself up over getting red, you're gonna get even more red. This is always what happens, right? If you're shy, something happens, you get red, then you're shy about being shy, and it just amplifies, right? That's something. It's like stopping a panic attack. I got panic attacks at some point. It was like 2 months ago. I was getting panic attacks, and like the way to stop it was like, okay, I'm getting the symptoms of like heartbeat racing. Okay, I mean, it's just normal. Let's just stop it. And it's another way of dealing with physiological symptoms, psychological symptoms. Just practice that mindfulness, that awareness. So yeah, what's up? Paxith, what's up? So anyways, yeah, if you want to tame your inner critic, if you want to learn how to do that, then that's definitely something that I can help you out with. And I'll leave. I'm trying to post a link. I just can't do it on stupid YouTube. But pretty much, you go on www.johnknameless.com/consulting. Simple, and book a free time with me, and we can talk about how to overcome your negative thoughts, because this is what really holds you back from finding clarity, holds you back from finding purpose and meaning, and finding what you want in life. So no problem. So unless you guys got any more questions, I'm going to leave you guys soon. It's been about almost 30 minutes now. I will leave you 1 second. I will leave you in the comments. Where's the comment section? Damn it. Where's the comment section? Damn it. 1 second. Yeah, if you got any questions, just let me know. Yeah. So I left in the comments right now a link for you to schedule your next call with me. So if you want to talk about those issues that you have, free consultation, and just do it. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I read every single comment on my new videos. I reply to every single comment on my new videos. I cannot reply to every comment on my older videos because I just got so many comments about like so many things. But I reply to the most recent vids. So make sure you do that, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace. Thanks for watching. Peace.